Hi, everybody. This is Tracy Caulfield with the Cushing Chamber of Commerce, and we are here today with Cushing Public Schools Superintendent, Dr. Amon, and we're going to talk about the transportation bond that is going to be on the election ballot on Tuesday, February 11th. So can you kind of just go through these a little bit with us and kind of explain them a little bit?
Yeah, because transportation bonds, they're a little confusing.
Yeah.
So you do bonds separately, and so transportation that is primarily student transportation is on a special kind of bond called a transportation bond, which is, let me see the ballot, which is proposition number 2 is the actual transportation bond. Okay, and that will be we're going to buy 7 big yellow buses, 1 small bus that has a lift capability for special needs students, and then at least 1 SUV, which will be primarily for student activity transportation. And the other, Proposition 1, is for ag trucks, and then also the cameras and things that will go, anything that's going to be aftermarket where we have to add cameras, then that's purchased separately. And that's done in more of a traditional bond format, which would be similar to bonds like when we do a building bond. But because that vehicle is not primarily for student transportation, although it does transport students, but that's not its primary focus. So that's why they're separated out into 2 different bonds instead of just one question.
Okay. Yeah, because that could get confusing because, and you know, when you're doing these kind of ballots.
Yeah, it has to have all that that legalese language in there, so it gets really confusing. So, but Proposition 1 is ag trucks, and then any aftermarket camera equipment that would be needed for vehicles. And then Proposition 2 is, again, primarily student-facing transportation, which would be like regular yellow buses, all the SUVs that we do. And so, and the camera purchase part really depends on, does it come with the bus or do you add it aftermarket as to how you can buy it, which again, just makes it even that much more confusing. School finance is just,
so
easy to understand, and it's so easy to explain to people. So that's why there's 2 questions. And again, you know, they're really all for transportation purposes. Just the difference in the primary purpose of the transportation as to the type of bond that it has to be put on.
And really how what the money is going to be spent on.
Yes. So. It gets real technical. I mean, you know, and that's the same reason why, like, you can't put transportation stuff on a regular bond. It's just, it gets all into the law about what you can and can't put on certain types of bonds.
Okay. Well, and, you know, you and I were just talking about how we have seen a couple of questions online, like, why do we need new buses? So
yeah, the majority of our fleet are 2010 buses, and we do still run buses that are from the much earlier 2000s that are getting up to 20 years old. And those vehicles we don't take out of town. You know, we travel a lot of miles a day. I mean, just even the in-town routes. And we have a large square miles in our district. So we run multiple routes multiple times a day because we run the regular school routes, and then we do all the after school program routes, and then we run all the activities, all the different places that we take kids. I mean, every single day there's somebody out doing something, going somewhere. And that adds up. And a lot of our routes are rural routes. And so that's hard on a car, hard on a bus. And so there just comes a time where, just like we go out and buy ourselves a new car, we need to go out and buy ourselves some new buses because we want to make sure that the buses that we're putting our kids on are the safest, most reliable pieces of equipment that we have in the district. And then we will take, so like the old ag trucks that we're going to replace, we will circulate those back through our fleet. So we just rotate down because we have vehicles that we run every day for maintenance and those guys. So we will just take those trucks and push them down into the fleet and then replace some of the ones that are at the end that are older. So that way we keep, you know, everybody again in a safe and reliable vehicle that's going to get them where they need to go.
Yeah, the last thing you want is the kids broken down at midnight in the middle of nowhere.
You know, exactly. You know, and we bought a couple of buses a couple of years ago with district money, and so those are our 2 newest buses. But you know, again, it's just like replacing your car at home. After so many years, you think, okay, well, things change, technology improves, And then it's just the overall ride, because buses sometimes aren't the smoothest ride to begin with.
Right.
But we want to try to keep them, in as best a condition as we can and keep the kids in things that are safe and reliable.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Was there any other questions that maybe you saw?
We want to make sure people understand that it's a no tax increase bond issue. And that, again, someone asked me the other day, well, is it paid for differently? No, it's paid for the same way as all other bonds. It does go onto the tax rolls, but because the amount is so small, it will not change your taxes. It won't change them. It won't raise them if we pass it. It will not lower them if they don't pass it. So it is projected to have no impact on taxes whatsoever.
Okay. And that's even better.
Right, exactly.
No tax
So
increase.
we can get new buses again, and it won't be any cost. It won't be any cost to anybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else that you'd like to add?
I mean, we just hope people get out and vote.
Yes.
Again, it's February 11th. We do have to pass it with a supermajority, so that means 60% of people have to vote yes.
Yeah.
And so anybody who lives in the school district can vote.
Yes.
And I know that there is a city commission seat up on the same day, and the city commission voting rules are a little different. You have to live within the city limits to vote for city commission.
Right.
But on bond issues, as long as you live within the district, you can vote.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a few people who won't maybe be eligible to vote for the commission seat, but they could vote on the bond issue.
Right. So if you're not sure, still stop by. And we will be hosting the Payne County Election Board here at the Chamber office at 1301 East Main Street this Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., where you can come in, and if you live in the school district or just city limits, you can come in and go ahead and get your voting completed and done before Election Day of February 11th, where you have to go to your polling location. So feel free to swing by and do that. Now, the Cushing Chamber, we are supporting both of these propositions that are on the ballot for the Cushing Public Schools. So we highly support a vote of yes for both. But the chamber staff will not have anything to do with the Payne County Election Board being here.
I came and voted early on the last election, and that was so convenient. And even, especially for a lot of our employees who live in Stillwater, during the presidential election, that was really convenient that they were able to come and vote. But so anybody in the district can vote for the bond election.
Yes, so please stop by and get that done, or do it at your polling location on February 11th. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Amon.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have a great day, Cushing.